Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Unite Inside. We help people unite with all the parts inside of them. And in this video, I want to talk about something very important, which is a higher vibrational perspective on limiting beliefs or on beliefs in general. Basically, which means I want to show you how your higher self, the universe, God, consciousness, whatever it is, your higher power sees beliefs that you believe in. Okay? And I want to show you this higher vibrational perspective on what beliefs really are and what they are supposed to be in this reality. Okay? And why do you have them? And before I get there, I want to tell you something and show you something that you might not know about how you actually start to believe in these limiting beliefs that you have in your subconscious mind. How does it even happen? And how do you even have those beliefs? Okay? So what happens and what a belief really is basically something that you're convinced that it exists. Okay? That it might be true. It's not like a truth, but it is something that you're convinced, like a truth that you're convinced of. Like, for example, people believe in so many things, but the things that you believe in are not necessarily the things that you know. It's not like a knowing. It's just something that you think might probably be true, or most likely might be true, because you're convinced because of a certain experience that you went through that it is true. Let me give you an example. When you were a little kid or a little girl, a little boy, you went through trauma, a lot of experiences in your childhood. And when you were being treated in a certain way or talked to with disrespect, or maybe you were probably, you had emotionally unavailable parents or anything like that, a part of you started to wonder why. Why am I going through this? Why am I being treated as less than? Why am I being disrespected? Why am I not being treated the way I want to be treated? And then, because as a human being, because we are in a human being body, we're not really a human being, but we're in a human body. We have the mind, and our mind is logical, so it automatically wants to know, like, a logical explanation. It wants a logical explanation. It always demands a logical explanation of everything, or we don't feel good. We have to find it out, or we have to make it up. That's how humans are. Like, for as long as we're humans, um, being humans, we we are going to have to rely on our mind, and our mind is going to want to demand an explanation. So your mind keeps wondering, why? Why am I going through situations like this that hurt me? And then, when you don't know why, when you don't get enough information from your parents, like, your parents necessarily don't aren't necessarily going to come to you and tell you that they're wrong, or that they have just been having a bad day. Not all parents know how to communicate. And so most parents are going to just make you the problem, or make you feel like you did something wrong when you didn't do anything wrong, because they don't want to admit to their issues because it makes them feel shame, you know and what that makes you feel as a little kid is, you think, oh my god, I this must have something to do with me. So you think, logically, maybe, it's not really something that is 100% true, but it can be true. You think it can be true, that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not worthy. So every time you go through that experience, when you do get hurt in a certain way, you have that question in your mind: am I not good enough? Am I not worthy? Whatever it is. And the more you experience that pain, the more you experience that hurt, repeatedly. The thing is, our parents have these patterns. And so a lot of the things that happen to us tend to keep happening to us. It's not like you go through it twice or three times and now you're free from it. You keep going through it. If a parent has a pattern of criticizing people, they're always going to criticize you, like, all the time. And that causes you to always go through that trauma over and over and over, to the point that it becomes a trauma. You go through that hurt over and over, that it becomes a trauma, which makes that question more and more intense. Am I not good enough? Am I not worthy? And especially if you go through this so much that it becomes like a hell that you go through, like you really suffer from this, you really don't want your parent to criticize you, for example, or you really don't want them to cross your boundaries, it becomes to a point where you really start to fear that question. You start to it becomes this intense fear. You're afraid of the possibility that you might not be good enough. You're afraid of the possibility that you might not be a good person, that you might not be worthy, whatever that belief is. And so the more that fear becomes more intense, the more you're more convinced. You just become more and more convinced that you might actually not be good enough because of certain reasons. Maybe you think I'm too annoying or I'm too much, whatever that belief is for you. It just, it's like, it's all logical. It's almost like you have an evidence of why you think you are this way. And so that's what makes it so real, what makes those beliefs feel very believable for us. And so that's actually how those limiting beliefs start in our subconscious mind. It's always going through the same pain, and the pain goes through, the pain becomes trauma, and then it's because of the fear. The fear is what really creates that belief. It's because the more you're afraid, the more you do whatever it takes. You're going to start to do whatever it takes to avoid that truth that you are afraid of, that you think might be true. And because you think it might be true, that's what a belief is thinking that something might be true. Is actually being convinced that something might be true. So it's not really a knowing. And I just want you to become aware of this, because a lot of us think that our beliefs are knowings. They're not knowings, okay? Our limiting beliefs are not knowings. They're just a belief that we're convinced of. We're convinced, very convinced, that this belief is real, okay? And so I want to tell you this, is that that's why you can release it. It's because you don't have to look at it as a fact or as a truth. It's just that a part of you, because it went through trauma, it starts to believe in this thing as if it's, most likely the truth, even though it doesn't really have any true evidence. God didn't come to you and tell you you're not good enough. Okay, you don't know why. You don't know if you are indeed not good enough, but you just don't know why you've experienced this trauma. Okay, and so that's one thing that I want to share in this video that's very important about your limiting beliefs. And I want to tell you what happens after you become so afraid of a certain belief. When we become so afraid of a certain truth that might be true, that's not really truth, but we think it might be true, we actually create a pattern. The ego starts to create a pattern of avoiding what it is that we think is not true. For example, it looks at not being good enough, and then it asks itself, what can I do to not be not good enough? Like overdo stuff, do more, improve myself, whatever it is. And then it becomes this pattern that you're doing whatever it takes. You're trying so hard to just avoid not being good enough, to just avoid that thing, that label that you don't want on you. And so, but when you do this, when you go in the direction of actually, trying to avoid a certain belief, it's almost like you've already believed in it. That's the thing. And that's where I want to talk about your higher self and your source, is because once we believe in something, we're convinced that this is true, and we start to take action from a place that this might be true, and we do stuff, like when we take action, it's almost like we reinforce that belief. So what we're doing here is we're actually choosing to believe in this thing, and to actually even create a pattern because of how much we believe it, how much we're convinced with it. That's why it's so scary. It's because once you are convinced about a certain belief, it can be very hard to manifest what you desire, because then the universe automatically thinks, okay, this is what you're choosing. And this is something that I want to show you here. This is where your higher self's perspective comes into consideration, is because your higher self, the universe, this is how rules are in the universe. Everything that we're convinced of, everything that we believe in, okay, is going to come true. It's going to be what we experience because we manifest our beliefs. And so if you believe something to be true about yourself, unfortunately, if you look at all the evidence that you've created that you think, okay, this is the evidence, that's actually reinforcing this belief. Like if you think I'm not good enough, if you judge yourself, all these things, if you judge yourself and you think I'm too much, I'm not, I'm shameful and that's why I'm not good enough, whatever it is, and to powerless or I'm weak, that's why I'm not good enough. Because we always have like a reason why. If you ask yourself, why do you believe in a certain belief? It's always because you actually think that you actually 100% are kind of convinced because of certain, you know, other proofs, like I am shameful, there's something wrong with me, whatever it is. That's why I'm not good enough, There's it's like a it's almost like a little series of beliefs about yourself that are reinforcing. And so we actually choose this. We can choose this. We consciously choose to focus on this. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. So when you focus on this type of beliefs, you actually are affirming that, okay, this is what I choose to experience in my experience. And the universe really is going to give you what you decide to focus on and what you decide that is a belief that you believe in. And so this is so personal. I want you to examine your beliefs about yourself because this is a choice that you make. You take this choice every day. Whenever you have a pattern that is creating certain things in your life, it is always going to manifest the opposite of what you desire. Unfortunately, because that pattern is reinforcing your limiting beliefs. And the high vibrational perspective is that your higher self sees it all as a choice. The moment you start to try to avoid that belief and you go in the direction of avoiding that belief is the moment you believe your higher self thinks, okay, that's what you're choosing. You're choosing to believe in this belief. But the moment you choose to be convinced in better and good beliefs about yourself, and then you start to go in that direction, you take action that means that you believe this beautiful belief about yourself. Like, for example, if you believe you're worthy, you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to talk more, you're going to express yourself more, you're going to expect people to treat you with more respect, all of that. And so all of that you're doing is going to reinforce this good belief. And it's almost like it's reinforcing it. And we think, oh my God, we don't have a choice. We just, believe things because they're true. But that's not true. We do have a choice. A lot of us think we don't have a choice over our experience or what people treat us, how people treat us. We do. We're manifesting that. And it's because of the belief that we have. Okay, we're manifesting it. We manifest our experiences. We always do. And when something bad happens, we interpret it in a way that can from there we continue that manifestation. For example, if you go through a certain experience and then you interpret it as not being loved, not being respected, that's what your reality is going to start to become. It's going to show you more of the fact that you're not lovable, you're not respected. But if you decide, okay, even though I went through this experience, I can interpret it in a way that serves me. Like I can say, oh, this has nothing to do with me. I am lovable. I've always been lovable. This person is a jerk. It's not my fault. Then from there, you experience a different experience. You manifest a different experience. You start to manifest what you want, what you believe in the moment. And so beliefs are something that we choose. It's our choice to believe in whatever we believe in. It's our choice to create meanings in our reality. Reality is neutral. Reality is neutral. It's not anything. It's nothing. We make it what it is. We can look at something that is good and we can make it bad. Or we can look at something good and we can make it, we can look at something bad and make it good. And that's what I started doing in my own life, and that's how I started manifesting good things in my life. That's how I started having the type of reality that I actually want, that I actually desire. Like, for example, I used to, every time something bad would happen to me, like, I don't know, I drop something and I break it or whatever, I always think, oh my God, this is bad luck, I'm cursed. Especially if that happens a lot. And I focus on it so much in a negative way, and I say that about myself, that I start to have more and more of those experiences that prove that I am, cursed, I am bad, I have bad things happening to me. That's what a lot of people do. And that's why your life might be a continuation of bad things. It's because of that attention that you give, that negative attention that you give to bad things, that you literally give them that label of bad. And then you literally say, this is bad, and this is gonna result in more bad things. A lot of people do that. But what I started doing in my life is whenever something breaks or something bad happens, I always tell myself, I wonder what good thing this happened for. I wonder why this happened. There's a good reason. There is a good reason that is of my highest good. When you believe that your life is of your highest good, and you will always manifest what is of your highest good, that's how your reality starts shifting into a better direction. That's how your reality starts shifting into what you actually desire, what you actually want to see and experience. Because then you don't give that thing a lot of attention. Instead, you give it better and good attention. You say that it is a good thing. It is going to create a better thing. And guess what happens in my reality? I always manifest better things after that. Like, for example, someone gifts me something even better than what the thing that broke, Always, whatever it is that cleared out of my life, I let it go. And I say, something better is coming. I always say good things about what's happening in my life, no matter what is happening. Okay? Because I know that my life is good. It's always good. It's always going to be of my highest and best. And whatever is truly of my highest good. Okay? It's always going to be like that. And so is your life. But it is a choice. You can take this choice. You can choose to believe in things that are not good and give them so much attention that you manifest more of them. Or you can choose to believe in good things and manifest and see more good things unfolding. Because our reality is good. Our reality is never, ever here to hurt us. If something is going on in your reality, it's always because it's taking you into a better and a different direction. But unfortunately, sometimes we miss that up with our energy. If we're too stressed and we put so much pressure on our reality, and we just project negative energy on what's happening, our reality unfortunately starts to go in a bad direction. You know why? It starts to go to a bad direction because that place is exactly how we're directing our focus. Whatever you focus on, you manifest. So we hope that this video helps you and that you've understood how beliefs work, and that it is a choice, it is your choice to focus on what you want to focus on. Okay, so I love you and I hope to see you in the next video. If you like this video, like, share, and comment. I'll see you soon.